In this episode, I'm going to show you how to create a textured background that you can use in any number of projects. We don't always consider the importance of backgrounds, and I've been just as guilty of creating a solid or bringing in an image or a video clip. Stick around and learn how to create a textured background in just a few minutes. You'll also learn a ton of tips, tricks, and shortcuts. There's a lot to get through, so let's dive right in. Okay, so Command or Control Y to create a solid, and it doesn't matter what color it is because we will be laying down in a cover overlay and some other effects on this. So just call this background and click OK. Let's right click on this layer and we're going to go to Layer Styles and we're going to add in 3 layer styles. We're going to add in an inner shadow, right click, Layer Styles, Color Overlay, right click, Layer Styles, Gradient Overlay. And we'll just take these one at a time. So I'm going to hide our inner shadow and our color overlay, open up gradient overlay, and let's just change our style from linear to reflected, and then click on edit gradient right here. We want to change our black to a light gray. So we have something about like that, and click OK. And let's just close up gradient overlay and turn on color overlay. Open that up, and I'm going to choose like a light blue. You can do whatever color you'd like, and I'm going to show you later how we can change this also. So something like that, like just a light blue, click OK, and then I'm going to change my blend mode from normal to overlay. So that way we only kind of see it on the edges right there. Actually, you can probably make this a little bit darker. So it kind of pops a little bit better like that. So let's close that up and go to our inner shadow. And we just want to change our distance from 5 to 0 and our size from 5 to 250. So we kind of have this vignette kind of a look. Okay, and we can close that up. So Command Option Y to create an adjustment layer. Okay, and let's just rename this to grain. Now we can either go to our effects and presets and type in add grain, or one of the things I've been doing a lot lately is if you just right click on this layer, we can go to effect, noise and grain, add grain. So you can add it from either place. We're going to change our viewing mode from preview to final output. So I'm going to close this tweaking right here. Open up application, change our blending mode from film to add. And then our animation defaults to a speed of 1. And if you watch it play back, you can see that it kind of bounces around a little bit. I'm going to push in here. You can kind of see how we have this dancing noise. I'm going to just change our animation speed from 1 to 0. So that way it stays static. I'm just going to fit this back to my composition. Okay, now I have this image right here. It says fingerprint smudges. I'm going to drag this in, and you can use any kind of grunge texture and it will work just the same way. The shortcut for getting this to fit to your composition is Shift Command Option G, and that will fit your image to the height. And as you can see, we don't want that. We want it to go to the width. So Shift Command Option H. So let's just change our mode here from normal to overlay, and now we kind of have this edge here. So see, if we toggle this off and on, you can see what this adds to our image. P for position, and see, we can kind of move this around to kind of get the look that we're going for. This grain effect here is pretty heavy. So if you watch it play back, it takes a second sometimes for your system to play. Command Option S, and that's going to send our comp to our render queue. That shortcut, Command Option S, is the same thing as if you went up to Composition, Save Frame as File. You can see the shortcut right here. So Command Option S is a really helpful shortcut to remember. I'm going to save this as a PNG. My output module defaults to PNG. You may get something else, but I have my system set up so whenever I save an image, it automatically saves it as a PNG. So now I'm going to click my Output To link. I'm going to go to my Documents, Adobe, 2023 user presets, and I'm just going to put it here so that way I keep everything together for purposes of this tutorial. You can save this wherever you'd like. So I'm going to name this 124, that's the episode we're on, background blue, because I'm using a blue overlay. And I'm doing that for a reason because I want to show you something else that you can do that's kind of cool in just a second. Click save. And now if you open up your output module, this is something that's great for whenever you're doing pre-renders or something like this if you need to make your background into an image. Go to this post-render action here. You can change it from none to import. So once you render it, it's going to bring the PNG back in. Now, one of the things that's really important to remember is, see, I have my quality set to quarter. Make sure this is set to full quality. Otherwise, it will render it at 1/4 the size. Click render, and you'll see over here in our project panel, it brought in this 124 background blue. So if you're having issues with your system rendering that grain effect, you can just bring this back on top, and now you can solo it, and it will play so much faster. I wanted to name that blue for a reason, and I'll show you right now. I'm going to turn that solo off, and actually I'm going to hide that. So now if I go back into my background layer here, open that up, our color overlay, that's where we set our blue color. So now if I click that and say, I want to make it more of like an orange just to get a different color, I can do the same thing and instantly bring back in another background. So Command Option S to send this to our render queue. I'm going to open up our output module and post-render action. I'm going to click Import, go over to our Output to link, and I'm going to just click on what we previously saved, 124 background blue. I'm going to undo that, mainly to get rid of this right here. So whenever you save a frame as a file, it's going to include the frame that you're on. So see, these are all zeros. That's because my playhead was at the beginning of my timeline. So what I do sometimes is I'll just click on the saved image I already have, and then that way I can just change this from blue to orange. Just select save, hit render, and we'll see it pop up over here. We now have this orange option. So now I can drag that in and say we turn both of these on and solo those. Now I can just toggle between these two, and your renders will be super fast. And this is a good way to make a background that's something a little bit more interesting than just a solid or maybe an image. And it's something that you can do super quick. I hope this tutorial helped you out and that you learned something new and useful. Make sure to come back next time for another tutorial that will expand your knowledge of After Effects while also teaching you some really cool tips, tricks, and shortcuts. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Support our channel by getting your 7-minute AE merch today at our online store. And sign up for my Udemy course, The Power of Shape Layers. It's guaranteed to make you a Shape Layer Rockstar. The link to that course, to our 7-minute AE store, and the project files for this episode are all in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.